baby. We've got 28 people on.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Star.
Yes.
Star.
And I told them that we were going to do this, and if they want to ask questions, they can.
Okay.
Lola, you cannot be in this live, girlfriend. Oh my God. Everybody says good morning. I don't know if you can see their comments, but if they ask questions, I will certainly ask them to you too.
Okay. Oh, I see my trauma lady saying my darling.
Yes.
So, okay, I can see that. And a couple of users joined. So I'm seeing that.
So I was telling them that we were going to do kind of like a talk together on the cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
And I didn't know if you wanted to give like your background, what your credentials are, your history, or anything like that to them. Introduce yourself, basically.
Okay. So my name is Jody, and I don't have any therapist training or credentials other than I was a nurse for many years and went through a horrific narcissistic relationship for about 8 years, and I have spent the last 2 years healing. And
thank you, Colin.
What has been amazing to me to find out is that this is all brand new. This is all brand new. We are on the precipice. We are like the guinea pigs, or not like the guinea pigs. We really are. And that's why this community is so important, that we validate each other, because there is no cure that we know of for CPTSD. Most of us don't even know what CPTSD is. You know, it's an atypical presentation. So that going through all of this, coming to terms with or understanding what the cognitive dissonance is, getting validation. The validation is the number one thing. Education and validation are the number one thing to start your healing process, right? And then to know that we don't even know about cognitive dissonance and what it actually is and how to identify it, and how it's not in the DSM-5. It's just a cultural psychology term. So my interest has been in those areas, not just talking to other survivors, but really like looking and saying, what is out there? And there's so many, I've had so many great life coaches that I plan on posting about that. But the person that I found is Sandra L. Brown, who really speaks to me. I mean, I can talk about Shahida Arabi.
Can you say her name again?
Sandra L. Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Sandra L.
Hey,
Brown.
I have a quick question from somebody, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
They just come along, of course. And she said, I feel like such a reject. Is this normal?
Oh, yes. 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 So when we talk about cognitive dissonance, right, and I'm going to just try as much as I can to boomerang back to that, because there are so many instances of cognitive dissonance. So whoever asked that question said, is this normal? I feel like a reject. You are not a reject. You know you're not a reject, but your mind is telling you you're a reject because that is what is coming to you, right? So that's cognitive dissonance right there. Why are you even asking the question? Why are you even asking the question? So you know the answer. You know you're not a reject, but you're like David and Goliath.
Validation.
Yeah. You're like David and Goliath. You know, you are fighting something so much bigger than you, but you're like, I'm a good person. I'm a good person.
And that's what I keep telling people when they'll say, you know, why do I want to go back? And I'll say, it's nothing you can put your hands on because it's here. Your one side is saying, don't go, don't go. He's going to get better. I promise. Don't you want that high feeling? And the other side is saying, no, you need to get the hell out. So there's a lot going on right here, battling with each other.
Yes. So again, going back to my girl, Sandra L. Brown, she says, you know, you are having 2 different relationships with 2 different people. You are absolutely in love with Jekyll, or I forget who's who, Jekyll or Hyde. You're absolutely in love with Jekyll. Jekyll is the knight in shining armor, or goddess, if you will, that rode in, and you want that person back.
Yes.
But that person slowly disappears, and then we're left with Hyde. Or vice versa. So that cognitive dissonance is the biggest one, right? That's the biggest one, is your partner is two different people. And you want that high again of Prince Charming, but that Prince Charming never
And
existed.
Trauma Lady had said, this is a valid point too, Trauma Lit Christine, got to understand the brain work to understand CPTSD. And that's true.
Yes. So what Sandra L. Brown does in her workshops and her magazine, I mean, she's really amazing. It's pretty dry sometimes to read her stuff. So it's nice to break it down like, oh, there we go. But that's what she says. She says, first, when the survivors come in, what we do is no contact. We set up the no contact. We set up a life independent of this person. The very second thing that we do is talk about the neuroscience, because the neuroscience is there. We don't know a lot about the neuroscience, but we know enough to know that this is a character disorder that cannot be changed. And we have been sucked into the vortex of all of those emotions, which are physiological, physical, emotional, spiritual. Like we're getting hit by every side, you know, and cognitive dissonance. So think if you're trying to take a math test and a science test at the same time, right? And you have to do one answer on math, one answer on science. Like, how hard does your brain have to like regroup, go back?
Right.
Yeah, our brain is doing that every second of every day, wondering.
That's a very, very good, that's a very good point example. Very good example.
Thank you. I've never been good at math and science, so that kind of spoke to me too. But yeah, you know, and then we wonder why we feel like rejects, or we can't do simple tasks. We can't organize, you know.
Well, and I just had a girl say, I have lost a lot of interest in a lot of things. So exactly what you're saying. We've lost interest, desires. We can't do simple things that we used to do. And continue what you were going to say.
What I was going to say is cognitive dissonance affects the executive function. So, you know, when you lose interest in things, there's so many reasons. I mean, we're freaking depressed, number one. You know, our life is torn apart. Our dreams are torn apart. Our family's torn apart. Sometimes our work is torn apart. Like, so of course we're depressed, and that's a symptom of depression, right? Like losing interest. But also your energy, even in the healing, your energy is used up. We all know that our energy is used up when we're with the narcissist or the pathological person. But afterwards it's used up too, because it's part of the healing, and it's so much harder and so much more intricate, so much more involved than any of us.
It's, you have to like force yourself to, this is what I had to do anyways with my healing process, force myself to do even simple tasks. Get up and take a shower, get up and do the dishes, get up, because I was so mentally and physically exhausted from it. And I had no interest or pleasure in doing anything, but I literally had to do stuff out of my norm. But also too, I had to recreate memories. So I changed out my room because everything reminded me of him. I would go home a different way because going home one way reminded me of him. So it's also recreating, smart. You know?
So smart.
So you got to do stuff like that too, kind of trick your brain back again into saying, no, this is okay. This is fun. This can be good, you know?
Yeah. And to be kind to yourself, you know, like that's a kind of, some of these things are so trite, like be kind to yourself or practice self-care, or I had someone comment on one of the forums the other day, like, have a latte for yourself. I'm like, a latte?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, I don't know, I guess, but these are not trite if you put them in. You are doing that for yourself. You were aware enough, thank God, to say, I can do something different for myself and see if it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, and do one thing every day toward your healing, no matter how small it is. You take a
That's
shower,
exactly what I say. One
you go
little
a
goal.
different
That's,
way.
yes.
One,
Love it.
yeah, one thing
I
per
did the
day.
same thing. I would set little goals. I said, I don't care how small or big it is. And just the thought or the psyche behind marking it off, like, I don't know, cleaning my bathroom or something. And the psyche of saying, oh my God, I did a goal. You know, just little things to help myself. And like you said, pamper yourself. Oh my God, I get pedicures, manicures, and learn to love yourself. I had somebody else on here that said, and if you're getting questions too, please by all means ask, why is it that they tell you to move on, and when you do, they become so angry in return?
Because they don't want you to move on. They don't want you to move on.
They want that control. They don't want somebody else to have that
move
control.
on. They're just saying that to hurt you. Yeah.
What was your question, Katie Ann? I'm sorry. I tried scrolling up to look for it and I could not find it anywhere. Could you please ask the question again? Yes, and Trauma Lady too said supply.
Yeah.
Supply has a huge, but they're going to lose their supply too. That's so true.
Yeah. And the more
their
miserable we are, the bigger the supply. It's the strangest thing. But again, when it comes down to neuroscience, this is how they're wired, like predators, like legit. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know, they feed off of it.
They suck the life out of you. Hi, baby.
All right, so I put my narc in jail, and I've been working a lot to put money on his books and spent close to, I'm not sure what that is, on his books every day. I've put money he doesn't want me to live out here.
That was me. For 11 straight months, I put $50 a week on his books, and he would schmooze me and talk to me so sweet just to get his books full. And then as soon as he got here, left me.
Yeah. It's predatory behavior that we can't recognize until it's
I guarantee that person's significant other is probably smoozing them too and saying, oh, we're going to get to there, we're going to do that, blah, 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 blah. It ain't true.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always, you know, dangling the carrot, future faking, like
JPay.
all of these. Huh?
Oh, I'm laughing at this. My friend, she said JPay. That's exactly what it is. And Trauma Lady said no empathy, compassion, but complete ability to reflect what they see.
Oh,
NPD.
Yes.
I wish this Katie Ann girl would ask her question again. She said, I'm just going to presume the answers to my question are no, but I don't know where the question went, and I feel super bad.
I don't know.
Yeah, they just want.
Whatever the question was, assuming it's no, do they ever get better? Do you think maybe that was it?
I don't know. I tried. Let me scroll back up again. I totally didn't see where she had asked it. So let me see. She might not even be on here anymore. She might have got mad.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope not, but I can't see where I had, I got so many coming in at once. I feel bad, but sometimes I miss some of them. It happens. Oh, anyway. Oh man, somebody just messaged and I messed it up. Oh God, where did it go?
That's
I just had it.
Look, I can talk about.
Okay.
Keep talking while you look if you want. All right.
I just had it, and then when I receive a message, it shows back up. It scrolls back down. Okay. Any way they could ever recognize their behavior?
So
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to disagree.
Go ahead. Let's go.
Let's do this, right? You're going to disagree. You don't think that they recognize their behavior, right? Okay.
I would not say all, but I would say most.
Yeah. I'd love to look this up because, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing too, for the most part, as far as percentages go. The more pathological ones absolutely know what they're doing. Some of them know that it's wrong. Some of them think that's the way their brain works, right? The more pathological they are. But
yep.
They know, based on like just living in the society, that, you know, Ponzi scams and stealing are wrong. You know, they are actively going out of their way, but some of them out of their way to get what they want when they want it without getting caught. So they know that in this world, this is not the way we're supposed to operate. But they know, to them, it feels very comfortable, very natural. And so do they think it's wrong? Maybe, maybe not. But I do think the more pathological ones, or it's not really an opinion, the more pathological ones will tell you, this is how I groom people. So if you think of a pedophile, and I know that that seems like a stretch to go narcissist pedophile, just think about predators and what they do. A pedophile knows what they're doing when they are scoping out a child, right? They lure and troll. That's why they go to kids' places, right? That's what they're doing. The second thing is they love bomb. Then they get that child to trust them. Then they get the people around them to trust them. Then they start their predatory behavior. Then they manipulate. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
Right? So do narcissists and other pathological or personality disordered people know what they're doing? I think it's on a spectrum. Some don't. It's just natural. It's just, this is
So I think I read the question wrong. So
the what?
I agree. I agree with you. I was thinking she was saying, do they know they're narcissists? And I was like, no, they don't want to know. They don't care. Do they know what they're doing? Yes, I firmly believe that they do. I am 100% a firm believer. They absolutely know when they're ghosting us. They know when, because I did a video on this, because
Yeah.
I know when I would hurt his feelings, I would automatically go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you know, but it is not unintentional to stand me up, to lie to me, to ghost me, to cheat on me. That's intentional. And you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And sometimes it is just spontaneous. You know, they just find something better to do. Sometimes it is planned.
Yes.
You know, and the fact is, the narcissists and the pathological people, they're all different. They have different personalities and they'll act differently. But underneath, no matter what they do, is they don't care.
Right.
You know,
they don't.
So some people will cheat on you. Some of the narcissists will make sure you don't have a life of your own so that you can't cheat on them. The fact is, they want what they want.
And that's exactly what I said too. I was like, you know, they do stuff intentionally. Now, whether or not they care is a whole nother topic. Like, they just do not care that they're hurting you. I mean, I would cry and just lay my head on his chest, and he would just sit here with his arms across the couch, and he was like,
so annoying.
Why are you crying so hard? You know, it was
they view it as weakness.
Weird. Yeah.
They view that as weakness. We are just pathetic. You know, we've got all this love to give and we're ready to give it to them. You know, and instead of appreciating that and valuing that like we would, they see it as weakness.
Yes.
And they don't even want to be around it. It's like, ugh. So opposite from us. So opposite from us.
And you're exactly right, though, that it's sometimes when they cancel plans, it's spontaneous because they found something better to do.
Yeah.
Or it's planned. And you're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is knowing that it's not about us.
Exactly.
Their behavior.
And that's what I'll say too. I'll say they have a purpose for every single person they meet. We could look at somebody and say, oh, you know, talk, have a good conversation. Hey, let me get your number. I'd love to hang out with you sometime. They're looking at their pocketbook and saying, God, I just saw her whip out about $100. She probably has a whole lot of money. Let me get to know her. And they have a beginning, a middle, and an end for everybody. They use you up, then they know when they're going to start devaluing you, and then they're going to discard you. There's a purpose and a timing for everybody. They don't see us as people. They see us as objects and what they can get out of it.
Yes. Yes. Like toys on a shelf.
Yeah.
You know, when that toy breaks, i.e. us, when we've given everything we can, when we're completely spent and all we want is, you know, can you just love me a little bit? Can I feel safe and put my head on your chest? Can you just even put your hand on my head when I'm
Just
laying
give
on
me
your chest?
attention.
Any,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're
Well,
spent,
I
and
always
that
said it's like, it's
it's
almost like
disgusting.
tools, power tools too. When one is used up, the battery's used up, they place it on the shelf. They go grab another one. Okay. That
Yep.
battery goes out. They place that. They go back to the one that's fully charged. So we're the supply,
Yep.
or they buy a new one. They go and just buy a new tool, and
Or
that's a
have
new
someone else buy them
supply.
a new tool,
Right.
which is
I
really
mean, that's what
ideal.
it is, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. It's sick.
It's
So the trauma
when
lady
we,
says, they know they have to feed into their oh no, that's not the trauma lady. They know they have to feed into this disorder. Abuse is knowledge. The consequences are not factors unless it removes the supply. The abuse is real. Yeah. I love the trauma lady too. She's so one of
yeah,
my
she's
favorites.
fantastic. She's helped a lot of my followers, a lot. She helped me. She's really, really good.
Yes.
This one said, I feel like a dog begging for food. And I can totally
Yeah.
relate to that. I did
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I was begging for attention. Like, I would get this man everything. I was providing everything. And all I wanted was attention, just time.
Yeah.
Couldn't get that.
Yep. We all feel like that. A dog begging for attention. And they have trained us. They have trained us. Now this, I don't know. So one of the narcs, if one your narc is like a salesperson or in politics or marketing, or they can really kill you, because these manipulation strategies that they use at work come right home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whether they are aware that they are training us, or whether that's just part of what they do, I don't know. But we are trained. We are trained to not ask them for things that we need. And they are unable to give emotional support. They just are.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't. Now he can put his hand on your head, and still doesn't even do that. Something they can do. But being able to hold space for us in a way that is meaningful and intimate, or even to just be a partner 50-50, they can't.
Right.
They can't.
No,
It's
I would
not
tell
in them.
mine about a problem at the end of my day or something. Oh my God, this happened. And he would just sit there.
Yeah.
I was like, and just nothing. Now this one,
Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you what this is, Heather. Heather says he makes suggestions to go and do things together and nothing ever happens. That's future faking.
Right.
They will make you promises like, I'm going to get you a bracelet. That's what mine used to say. Or I'm going to take you to dinner. They're trying to get something out of you now, and they're going to future fake you. And then when that time comes, it's not going to happen because they got what they needed out of you back then when they promised you.
Or it might happen. Because then,
or it might happen.
They've got you for another, I don't know, four times that it won't. And you'll be like,
Right.
oh, okay,
Right.
well, he did it this time, or she did it this, it's such a clusterfuck, and
It is.
It's horrible. All right, so let's see what we go. Dog whistle. Oh, the old dog whistle. Yes.
Yeah, I got that a couple times here.
Yeah, they know. They know. They talk to us, and we know what they mean. A look, a glance, a word. They were trained by a dysfunctional family, so they train others. Yeah, it just seems natural to be it is natural. Doesn't even seem natural. So I want to say one thing, how Sandra L. Brown describes the pathological love relationship, narcissist, sociopath. She calls them darkness. She doesn't call them narcissist or sociopath, any of the cluster Bs. She calls them darkness. So is it nature? Is it nurture? What she says is darkness is a cake that is already baked. And nurture is the icing. So you can have a great family, right? Somehow they have this fantastic family, but they still have the brain disorder, the cake. So maybe that NPD has a little bit better chance, right? But if you think about, or then you can put pepper on top of it, right? That's a bad childhood. So you have NPD in the cake, then you've got pepper on your cake. That's gonna taste really awful. That's a bad childhood, right? You take that pepper off the cake is still baked. You can't unbake that cake. You cannot love someone enough to change their eye color.
Right.
You
Right.
can't therapy or go to the doctors enough to change someone that has autism.
Right.
It's a spectrum of autism. And the sooner we start thinking of, or not thinking of, realizing that's the science of cluster Bs, is there's minuscule change.
Yeah. It's very true. And that's the one thing I think a lot of people think that, maybe I can change them. Maybe if I do this, and you honestly can't. I had
Yeah.
somebody say, anyone, wait, where it is. My narc is always getting on dating sites and then telling me that he loves me. That happened to me too. They don't love you. And
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to say that, but they just don't. They're on dating sites looking for other supplies. They're telling you that to keep you there until they find a backup.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is.
Their minds, though, are so
And
disordered that there are lots of times I think that to them that is love.
yeah.
To them it's love, but it's a very
Mm-hmm.
different kind of love.
Very different kind of love.
Yes. And that's another
Very different.
reason why the cognitive dissonance is, there are times you're like, I really think this person loves me. Like, I feel that they love me.
See, I
But
don't think that they feel love.
it is fleeting. You can feel that love, that they love you because they're getting what they want. Think about when they were love bombing you in the fairy tale beginning. You felt that they loved you, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that they feel love. They have no empathy. So without empathy, how do you feel love?
They feel how we make them feel. That is their love. Totally different from ours.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So we can
Okay.
feel that.
I was like, I don't think they can love.
Yeah, it's like a hard thing to kind of
They're
explain.
just mirroring what we are doing.
No, they are feeling our love and feeling really good. We made
No.
them feel very
Yeah.
good for a very long time. And they like that feeling.
Right.
That to them
That I
was
get.
love, that we made them feel good, but they can't sustain it. But to them, that is love. We have
Yes.
love
I
that
was
is
saying
lasting.
I don't think they can love us back is what I was trying to say.
Correct. But they think it's love sometimes. And sometimes they're just completely using you. Period. End of story.
Heck
They
yeah,
say, I
that's all
love
they
you.
do.
Yeah.
That's all they do is use you.
Yep.
Somebody had on here.
They reflect the love they see, project the image, and enjoy the reward. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, they mirror what we're doing. Yeah.
Yep. Remember, all narcs mirror us, emps, and our best Oscar nominee actors in the world 1000. Yep. Yep.
This one says, I don't know if it's love or an obsession, possession and control. Valid point.
Yeah. But obsession and control, to them, that feels good.
Right.
To us, we don't play that game. We don't do that. So remember, we can't project our feelings onto them and say they don't know what love is. They think they do. They think they
Yeah.
do. And again, coming back to, it's science, it's the brain. It is, they really think that this is love, or they know that they're fucking with us. But it's not always one or the other.
Mm-mm. They're cold individuals.
Yes.
I don't think they love it. They don't even love themselves.
Yeah.
This one says she doesn't know what gray rock is. She'll look it up. We can help you with that. So gray rocking is basically what I did with my ex towards the end. It's just kind of not reacting. the way that they want you to. Like, you know, they'll come in and they'll start yelling or something. You just kind of sit there and just say, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I am stupid. And you just kind of like agree with them. Just kind of playing dumb, in other words.
Going along to get along, kind
Yeah.
of. You know, it's a strategy for survival. It is not something that will work and change their behavior. And I think that's the biggest misconception of gray rock. Like, if I do this, you know, this person will suddenly come to their senses and understand. Or, you know, a lot of us will use gray rock to punish them. I mean, we're so freaking mad at these people. I know I was like enraged inside. And, you know, gray rock, just I wanted them to be pissed. And
Hey, Queen, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Queen, I have to get somebody off of here. I've got,
here's the thing, says being boring to the narcissist. That's a good one. Anderson.
Yeah,
being
towards
boring
once
to the
they get
narcissist.
what they
And
first, Eddie, will you please get rid of? Sorry, I have to have my moderator get rid of somebody.
That's okay.
Talking about a subject that's totally not what we're talking about and totally inappropriate to talk about on here because it doesn't relate to us.
So, and then Trauma Lady says, gray rock is a method of short-term safety while establishing safety. Awesome. And
it is very, very well worded.
Margarito says, remember, narcs can't love, they know the concept of it. Yeah, the concept of it. And I believe that they think they know what it is, but they're incapable. Like, if you've never seen the ocean, you got a concept of the ocean and you've seen pictures of it, you know, or videos, and you're like, yeah. Right.
I've been told don't speak unless I'm spoken to. Very much a control thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is very, very common right here. She said she was, he physically cheated on her while she was in the hospital recovering from surgery.
Oh, yeah,
you know, my sister, my oldest sister always said to me, I said, how do I know when it's, you know, a good guy? And she said, if you were to be diagnosed tomorrow with a terminal illness, would that person be there beside you or would they have moved on? My narcissist would have moved on. That sucks for her. And that's very common. I had surgery. Mine didn't get in touch with me. Oh, yeah, that's common because it's not benefiting them. The attention's on us. They hate that.
And not just that the attention is not on them. Like, we're broken. We can't provide them anything. Like, I had a back injury. I had a lot of injuries, but I say back injury just because people relate to, they understand, like, when your back is broken, like, you're pretty broken, right? It's a big deal. And I was told, I want somebody that's able to, like, go to dinner with me. And I couldn't even put on shoes. I couldn't sit in the car. This isn't working. Like, I need to have my needs met. Totally 100% very serious in this conversation. Like, my back wasn't broken forever. It wasn't going to be forever.
Right.
But right then and there, right what they need, they want what they want. They'll do what they need to do to get it when they want it without getting caught. Even as simple as, I want somebody to go out to dinner with me. You know, it's just the way that the lack of empathy shows up in our life is not to be underestimated. So, yeah.
Someone just said, wow, thank you for your site. I was giving them a thumbs up. You're so welcome. Thanks for coming on. What about, what are you asking about Father's Day, Jay? Somebody on here asked about Father's Day, but I don't know what she wants to know. Let me see if she asked. You're being guilted right now. Oh, yeah, they'll do that to you.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, yeah. Guilt.
I felt guilty every day if I couldn't provide him money.
Yeah. Yeah,
Father's Day holiday blow up.
Yeah, Father's Day is going to be very big for a lot of us. And I you know, if we can do one thing on Father's Day, to just remember to take care of ourselves. again, it seems so trite and so simple. But when you're empaths and you have different traits than these people, we think of others first. Well, my dad was X, Y, Z, whatever, but he's still my dad, and I need to go and see him, or I need to do this, knowing full well he's going to make you feel like shit, maybe cry, or you have to have the strength, the internal fortitude to do the right thing because you're conscientious and see my dad on Father's Day because that's what we're supposed to do. No, you don't need to do any of that. You don't need to do any of that. Any of that.
And it's society kind of ruling what you need to do, but it's okay to love somebody from afar.
Or not love them. Like, whatever you want. That's the whole thing. You want to love them from afar? That's what you do. You want to disengage from them? That's what you do. You want to send a card and a text instead of a phone call that might set you off?
Right. Whatever's best for them. Absolutely.
You do what is right for you. Because when you do what is right for you, it is always right for the other person. Always right for the other person. If it's really the right thing to do for you. And that's kind of deep, but that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten. If you do what's right for you, it is always right for the other person.
Yep. It's not what, because society puts such a stigma and pressure and, oh my God, on everything.
Yeah.
On what's supposed to be and what is, what isn't.
What you should do, what you're supposed to do. But these narcs don't do that.
They follow their own set of rules.
Yeah, they'll turn it back around on you, you know. And yes, of course, if you decide to send a card and a text instead of a phone call and dinner, yes, they're going to turn it around on you. Yes, expect it. Expect it. But that's just further confirmation that you did the right thing.
Right.
I think I'm having a party behind me in my car. I'm at the boathouse.
I thought you were. I saw a bunch of people like walking around. I was like, what's going on over there in Jody's neighborhood? I mean,
my daughter had a regatta today this morning. So yeah, people be getting their
the party on.
They're getting their party on, and I'm kind of in the way, but we're almost done. Oh, so Trauma Lady says Father's Day safe space, trauma family 6 to 8 p.m. Nice. Anderson, I don't know who Anderson is, but Anderson has had a lot of great comments. The narcissist is in a perpetuous state of fearing rejection. You see it when you discard them. Oh, they are the fear of abandonment. Yes. And yes, they discard us cruelly and whatever, but yeah, absolutely.
I have, or were you finished? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to read another comment. I can wait.
She says, do you have any, I don't have kids, but she wants to know, anybody have any idea on how to protect kids in the middle of all of it?
Yeah, that is just so hard. And so they're how to protect kids. I have my own opinion on that. I educated my children on first of all, my two older kids told me that my partner was narcissistic 3rd year in, and I didn't know what narcissism was. I thought it was like superficial, somebody that, you know, liked control, liked to be the emperor, the sergeant. I didn't know how deep it went. And a lot of people will say, listen, you just keep your side of the street clean. You do what you have to do for the kids. I personally don't think that that's enough to just stay quiet and get rolled over. I don't think engaging with the narcissist and playing their game is a good strategy for the kids. But you do need to fight for yourself. And being aware of what narcissism is and how they operate and noticing patterns of behavior. Like, Brenna, right now, if you could probably predict what the narcissist would do, right?
Oh, I told him I did. I knew him before he knew him.
Right. So
he said, there's no way. I said, oh yeah, there is. I know what you're going to do before you do it.
They become very predictable. Very predictable. When you start gray rocking and they start upping the ante and you are in a state where you can really watch instead of engage, that's a whole different, that's difficult in itself. But healing yourself and explaining to your kids sometimes the patterns. I think that there's a real benefit to that in doing so, the children take on less of that toxicity and shame because they know it belongs to someone else. So I want to be very careful and very clear that I am not saying to blame your partner and to downplay your partner in ways that are, you have to be very careful. But saying, I think,
so like more of the focus on the child, like, because your dad didn't show up again, this is not your fault, or something like that. Like making
maybe
sure they
something like,
realize
so
that.
your dad is very used to doing things a certain way. Your dad will admit to, this is the way he does it. Sometimes he forgets about things that are important. He loves you in a way that he can love you. And there are certain things about your dad that belong to your dad and not to you. And
I love this. You know why I love this?
what?
Because regardless of how bad or how hurtful that man is to you, that's still their daddy.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what you have to keep in mind. Don't, in my opinion, I wouldn't badmouth my brother-in-law to my niece, even though I knew he was an ass, because that was still her dad. And she would figure it out on her own at her time. That's still
Right.
her hero.
The issue, though, is that they're internalizing the shame that whole time. Why didn't my dad show up?
No, yeah, exactly. Like,
Right?
but you would protect them and say, it's not your fault.
Yes, that's all we can do. They will realize it at a certain time, hopefully. Like, look at us. I'm 50 years
Right,
old.
right,
I'm just learning this.
right.
Right? And it's just hard stuff. But I do believe that there's a benefit. So, I know that my children still internalize things that were said to them, that they were leeches,
Yeah,
lazy, things like that. That's going to stay with them no matter how many times I say, it's not about you. That is not who you are. That belongs there. But at least it's
right.
a start. And at least when I say to them, listen, when we go to, Pepe's house, he's very judgmental. I want you, before we go here, this is how Pepe talks to everybody. Why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing that for Father's Day, right? And grilling the kids, like, what were your grades? Or whatever it is that your Pepe, grandpa, dad will judge you for. And that's so common. This is how Pepe talks. It's not about you.
Right,
You are a beautiful
right,
person. You are doing the
right.
best that you can. And Pepe owns that judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And at what age do you start doing this? I don't know, but the sooner your child, not what?
Trauma ladies, exactly right. Very good
Tell me.
point. Great time to teach boundaries.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that.
yeah. I explained the patterns to my kids when I was educated enough and they were teens. Yeah, me too. They were teens. And when they start asking, and when they're crying over what
Yeah.
somebody said to them, and yeah, that's really all we can do. I don't know. So kids see the truth. They know the
Mm-hmm.
feeling of walking on eggshells. They know the feeling. Sometimes they don't have the vocabulary for it though. And that's what we do. They know that, oh, it's Tuesday, or so and so might come home late. Like, they feel it. They, we all
Yeah.
establish patterns, right? We look at patterns, and the kids will look at patterns. If I do this, Pepe is happy. If I do this, Pepe is not. So they're not in touch with who they are. I don't know. I feel like I'm babbling here.
No, trauma lady made a good point too. This is, and I've always said this too, they're very resilient. She said they already know they're smarter in the relationship than you think they know because they have, like, they are smarter than you are in the relationship because you have brain damage.
Mm-hmm.
Kids know that they can count on me. That's why they come to me first.
Yeah. We always get the
Well,
brunt of it.
this was a great talk.
Yes. Yes.
I loved it.
Thank you so much for doing this with me, like taking me under your wing.
Heck
You and
yes.
Trauma
Thanks for
Lady and
inviting me.
Margarito, like you guys are awesome.
This was fantastic. Anytime you want to do it again, please feel free to ask. I would love to do it. You have great way of conversing and just flowing with it. And I thought it was wonderful.
Really? Okay, awesome. And I didn't even have to quote my book or anything. It's so weird. I've always got like books and books in my car. Anyway, thank you so much, Brenna. You're awesome.
Yes. Oh, you too. Thanks, Jody.
All
have
right.
a good one.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
How do I get off?
How do I unlink this? I know, I don't either.
Bye, Brenna. I'm saying bye again.
Bye.
Old lady. That's me. How funny is that?